So StackBlitz just announced WebContainer, which is an incredible piece of technology that allows us to run Node.js, like system stuff, in the browser. Let's talk about that. Okay, so StackBlitz just announced this thing, and it's pretty cool. So in this video, I want to share with you some initial impressions. We'll play with it. We'll just kind of dip our toes in the water and feel WebContainer a little bit. And next week or the week after next, depending on some scheduling, we'll actually build a proper project with WebContainer, etc. But for now, let's get into it. What I want to do is just build from scratch a little playground to play with WebContainer and understand its power. Okay, to do that, we're going to come to the browser, terminal, and we will npm I vite just to get a dev server running, and we will npm, actually we should maybe npm init first, and we'll do that again. It should be cached, and then we'll npm I WebContainer API. So npm I WebContainers API, just like this, and that should be pretty much all we need. Now this is really exciting because we're literally going to be running like Node.js in the browser. How StackBlitz magic. Anyway, let's get into it. So we have here WebContainer. What I want to do is code, and I want to create some files. So let's close all this stuff, and we'll make a new file called index.ts, another new file called index.html. And what we'll do is we'll do script src index.ts, type is module, and we'll close that. Meanwhile, we'll go here and just do console log hi just to see that it's working. We'll npx vite, and we should have something on port 5173. Console log hi, right? Great, it works. Awesome. Step one done. Let's move on. So let's boot a web container. What I want to do is import web container from WebContainer API. We'll wait for the onload event on window, and here is where we'll boot the web container. We'll do this asynchronously, so we'll say const wc await webcontainer.boot, and let's maybe add some console logs just so we know what to do. In fact, we'll create a function called report output. It takes a string, and just, for now it'll just console log output. Okay, and we'll just report output booting, and then after we'll say report output booting complete. This looks great. Let's take a look at this. So booting, fetch finished, but there's errors. Cross origin isolated, shared array buffer requires cross origin isolated. What's happening? To make sure web containers are secure and the surrounding environment can't interfere with secure stuff in there, you need to set some HTTP headers just for security. This is really important. We need some cross-origin headers. Okay, so to do that, we'll come to vite config. We'll just make a new file called vite.config.js, and we'll do import define config from vite. Exactly, and we'll export default define config. We'll set the server headers are cross origin opener policy, same origin, and there's one, there's a comment, interesting, and there's another one. So we need these two, and this is just security stuff because web containers embed iframes. We look at this in this video, but they embed iframes, and you want things to be secure because security. Okay, so we did that. Let's reload, and we may need to restart our dev server. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so we need to come here, kill, start again, and now it fetches from this staticblitz.com something, and it says booting complete. Congratulations, we have a web container running. Let's do stuff in it. But first, let's look at what actually just happened. So if we come to our elements, we see here that there's an iframe. to stackblitz.com/headless, and there's a bunch of stuff in here. What is going on? And this is where the magic happens. StackBlitz, in case you don't know, is like Code Sandbox. It's like a REPL where you can run interactive Node.js projects. And so by embedding this iframe, it sends a connection to them to just basically get some like NPM dependency static assets and things. I'm told that this isn't like phoning home and tracking you. I did talk to the team at length about the implementation here, and there's nothing shady going on. It's just an API at the end of the day that you're calling. Of course, it's not open source as far as I know, so take that how you will. So we have this iframe going. Let's play with it. So let's do something. So to do stuff in our web container, let's spawn a process. So we'll do const process await web container dot spawn, and we'll do, yeah, I don't know what this is. Yeah, we'll just get the node version. If the exit code is 0, that means it's good. This is, by the way, if it's non-zero. A non-zero exit code means something went wrong. So if it's not 0, like this, truthy, then we'll report output and say process failed and exited with code process.exit, okay? Otherwise, it succeeded, we can report output, which is just the output. How do we log output here? This is an interesting thing because we log output differently. You can't just console log output because you need to think about output from a process as a stream of stuff. It's not like a process executes and then you get its output. It's not synchronous, it's asynchronous. It's a streaming of data. And for that, we use streams. So if we come here, what we'll do is we'll say process dot output, which is, look, it's a readable stream. So we'll process our output dot pipe to, and we'll pipe to a writable stream, basically. And a writable stream has a write method that receives a chunk, and you just like report output on the chunk. So when we stream output, we do this. When the process exits, we do this, and this should be fine. Let's save this and see if we have some output. Again, report output is just node, is just console log. So there we go, process output 16.14.2. That is the Node.js version. We're running Node.js in the browser here. It's pretty nuts. Cool. Let's maybe reuse this a little. What I want to do is have like a text input in my browser where I can have it be like a terminal. I type a command and then I run the command and see its output in the browser. Okay, so let's do that. So to do that, we'll go here and add some elements. What I want is a form, and I want a label. The label is command, and I want a text input field. Perfect. We'll say ID is command. ID is form. This looks good, and then we need a button. Send. We also need somewhere to see the output, so we'll do code, and we'll give this some style. We'll say, height maximum 400 pixels, background black, color is white. Let's add a border radius for fun. Why not? We're here now. Padding maybe 8 pixels. This looks good. Does it though? Let's save. Oh, that doesn't really look good. So let's say width is 100% as well. This should be all right. And then overflow is auto. How does that look? Can we? It needs a display flex probably. And also we'll do, yeah, let's save this. This looks great. This looks very, very nice. That width 100% is maybe too much, but it's okay. It's fine. So now what we want to do is get the output not in the console, but like in this black box we have here, okay? So let's do that by coming here, and instead of reporting output here, we'll take this element's ID, do code ID equals output panel. So we'll take the element's ID and we'll say output panel, which I don't know if you know this, but like HTML element IDs become global variables in JavaScript. Just in case you didn't know, now you know. So output panel dot text content plus equals output. Save that. There we go. We have it. It's booting, and then booting complete, and then we should have the, there we go, process output. So it's working. We can effectively remove the console now. And let's maybe prepend it with a new line just for posterity. So this looks much better. Look at that. That's pretty nuts. We kind of have it. So now what I want to do is send commands from the input to the container. To do that, we need a reusable run function. So here how we're running Node-v, we'll just take all of this and create a new function called run command. Run command. And we'll just do this. It's an async function. Of course it is. And so instead of Node-v, we'll do string, we'll do command and args, or CMD. And these are the arguments here. CMD is a string, args is an array of strings. Good. This looks pretty good so far. I'm quite happy with that. So now we can run as many commands as you want. Let's run a command just for fun to say, like, sure, why not? This looks good. And we'll close this. And it's async, so we'll await it just for fun. Save. Is it going to work? Okay, great, it works. Process output, hello world. Excellent. So we've created a reusable run command function. Now what we need to do is call run command when the form is submitted. Let's look at how we do that. So if we go back to the editor, and we'll say form. I think the ID of form is form. Okay, so we'll do form dot add event listener submit. It's an async function, just for fun. Wow. Let's see what this does. So input, what's the input? Its ID is command. So we'll do, instead of input.value, we'll do command.value. This actually looks good, and we'll do that. We'll await run command. Cool. Let's save that. We also probably should prevent default. So we'll do event.prevent default, exactly. Okay, so now we'll say echo testing. Wow. Command not found, ipijva, npm init, node-v, npm install kause. So this is cool. I have to scroll to get to the bottom, but install finished. Okay, and let's try and run it. npx kause hello, and we'll send. There we go. We have cows saying hello. That is pretty rad. Let's see if we can do a bit more. Let's go do clear. Does clear work? Yeah, okay. Let's do cow say Sylvia rocks. Send. Yo, I dig this. Let's do echo a few times. Does it give us new lines? Just to give, oh, this is nice. And now we'll do cow say. One last thing. Web container is awesome. We're literally running Node.js inside the browser and executing system level commands. That's nuts. Can we run a web server? Like actually like start a Node server? We can in the browser. We can start a Node.js server in the browser. Listen to this. Let's try that. So to do that, I want to come here and we'll add an event listener. So we have our web container dot on server ready. And this gets some arguments. It gets the port and the host. Sure, why not? And this is TypeScript safe, so you actually see it here. Anyway, so we'll do report output server ready on host port. Also, I don't like that I have to scroll down here, so I'm going to give you a little CSS tip. You can use Flexbox to always keep the thing scrolled to the bottom, like pinned to the bottom. Let's do that. So if we come here, we come to this thing, display flex, and we say flex direction column reverse. Oh, magic. Okay. And then this. Save that. Ah, look at that. Beautiful. It's like all at the bottom. Okay, so now we come back here. We're listening to the server ready event. This looks pretty good. We have to save this. So now what we're going to do is npx create react app here. This is going to be so exciting. So, okay, so we're installing packages. And I love, look at it. It's like staying pinned to the bottom with this one line of CSS, flex direction column reverse. So good. What is the most commonly used programming language? Profanity. Anyway, okay, so it's done. It says npm start happy hacking. Yo, we just installed create react app and created a react app. Look, I can like ls, and I have all these files, readme, package lock, JSON. Wow, okay. So this is the moment of truth. npm start inside Node.js running in a container in my browser. What's going to happen? Let's try. npm start send. Ooh, I see some stuff, and I see localhost, but I also see server ready on this. Let's copy this, open a new tab, paste. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm running a React dev server inside. Now what I can do is let's pull on the thread a little bit more. So this is the URL, right? I can actually create an iframe here if I want to. I can create an iframe and I can create a REPL. I can create my own like quick and dirty StackBlitz. Whoa. But imagine the implications for preview environments, for documentation, for like real REPLs. Like this is nuts, being able to run servers in the browser and teach people and use it. So that's just dipping our toe into Web Container. Again, in 1 or 2 weeks, we'll do a video with a bigger app to really feel it. But I'm going to leave it here for now. I'm curious, what are your thoughts? What are you excited about with Web Container? What do you plan to use it for? Let me know. Leave a comment or at me on Twitter. But for now, that's been it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.